Hi, my name is Stacy McCormack, and I'm a lecturer in the physics department at Indiana University, Bloomington. Before becoming a part of the physics department, I actually was a high school chemistry and physics teacher in the state of Indiana for 12 years. And this particular project that I'm going to talk about and that's featured in the Science Teacher this month is a project that I created in 2008 with my physics students. In 2008, I noticed that my students had a natural curiosity and passion about the presidential election that was taking place. And I wanted to know, how could I take and harness that passion and curiosity and use it for physics, which is not something that's easily done. Well, the same year, there was a book that was published by Richard Muller called Physics for Future Presidents. The book is written as if you have just become the President of the United States. And here's a crash course in all of the physics that you need to know in order to make good policy decisions. After reading the book, it became obvious to me that I could use this as part of a class project based on energy. This book came out in 2008, and actually in 2012, Muller came out with a new book called Energy for Future Presidents that simply focuses on the topic of energy and goes into much greater depth than the original book. My students read parts and pieces from that book, and we made it into a 2-semester project throughout the year. In the first semester, the students worked with other students in class who were curious about one of the 8 energy sources that we were investigating. We investigated oil, wind, solar, biofuel and ethanol, nuclear energy, coal, natural gas, and hydroelectric. All things that they hear about on the news all the time, but they probably have no idea how they work. Well, there were 4 main things that I wanted my students to know. Number 1, how does it work with detail? How exactly do we get usable energy from this energy source? Number 2, what are the advantages to that energy source? Number 3, what are the disadvantages? And number 4, have there been or are there predicted to be any catastrophes with this energy source? Those were the 4 main things that I wanted students to know. So in the first semester of the project, they researched those 4 main things about one particular energy source and actually became our classroom experts on that energy source. In the second semester of the project, I wanted the students to form their own opinions about each of these energy sources and at the same time evaluate national energy policy, which is something that they've never been asked to do. You know, energy is one of those topics that is so crucial, and especially now with the focus of the next generation science standards as it being a cross-cutting concept as well as a disciplinary core idea, it's something we want to be sure that our students really fundamentally understand. And beyond that, these students are about to take over this country, and they're going to be the ones to lead us through the energy crisis. So it's up to us to be sure that our students really do understand each of these energy sources and how they work. On top of that, the Common Core state standards encourage us to work on literacy with our students and to bring in outside resources. It's critically important that we foster in our students the ability to be able to take information from multiple sources, pull them together, and then use that information to evaluate something. And in this case, we evaluated national energy policy. We evaluated the policy statement of our local congressman. We also made informative websites that we produced for the community so that they would know their answers to those 4 fundamental questions with how does it work, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, and then any predicted catastrophes. Finally, in the last year of the project, we decided to go to the president himself and to evaluate national energy policy of President Obama. This is one of those projects that can easily be replicated in any classroom, and I really, really encourage you to use this and to make this project your own. If you'd like to share with me what you and your students are doing with this project, I would love to hear it. My email address is provided in the article, and I hope this project provides you and your students with something that you can easily replicate and at the same time fosters incredible cultivation of really deep, rich learning about the very, very, very important topic of energy.